Welcome to Code Receiver. Today we want to go into div and span. How does div and span works? Sorry, we don't div and span. Today we want to go into class and ID. Okay, class and ID. Class and ID is very important, especially if we start using CSS, because class is just like saying noun and pronoun. The noun there I will refer to as the ID, while the pronoun there I will call the class. Meaning that class can appear as many times as possible on your HTML. You can have, for example, and like I told you before, I give you an example, it's also a meaningless tag, just like div and span. Okay, they are meaningless unless when you now start working with them. By the time you put it first on your coding in HTML, they are meaningless. They don't do anything. Even your browser will not recognize it. You only see there that it's there. But then you take it to CSS. Maybe you have a bunch of color that's okay. Let's say my heading. Let me just give you an example. So this right top on my OL, I wanted to have a particular color. So I can actually color them line by line by line by line, but that would be very, very stressful for me. But if I use a class, every place I see OL, I put a class there. Maybe class of OL1 or class of OL, class of OL, class of OL. By the time I get to CSS, I just write class, dot class. And when I put dot class, I will be able to now give that class or the OL, I can give them a particular color, particular size, particular, just name it. Okay, so that is the advantage of class and ID. While class can appear in a multiple of places, ID is unique. ID, just like now, appear for at least just one place. Okay, just one place. So once you use ID, you're not going to multiply ID. ID is an ID. Okay. While class can appear, let's say H1 class for H1, H2 class for H2, H3 class for H2, stuff like that. But ID remains the same. So how do you code class in HTML? Simply, it's a class always like attribute, and for that reason, you can just come and write class like this. Say for example, I'm gonna write class like this and class. No, but what you do is just an attribute inside a tag. Let's say this OL tags. This, I don't know if you're saying this OL tag. I will do like give a space and then write class. Okay, click on class. Give it place, write class. Bring your mouse down, click on it. If it appear, no problem. You can do it on your own. So you give your semicolon as usual. Class equals to class equals to, then you put your apostrophe. That is it. So you can name, let's say this should be class of, you can actually give him color or say give him red. Maybe you want to give all your red and you give me class of red. Okay. By the time you get to CSS, you pick this red and go back to it and give it that class of red. Okay, so that is how you can actually write class. And know that class always comes as attribute. Okay, comes in form of attribute. Let me just take a look at one of these places and see if I can have it in a place that is going to show for us very well. Okay, let's say paragraph of a test. For this paragraph, I want to give the class, I space it, and I write class. Okay, that is it. Boom, that has appeared. Okay, so I now put, let's say I want to give me a size. Let's say the size should be 30 pieces. 30 pieces. You know, this may not make sense to you now until we get to CSS. I want you to know that there's what we call class in HTML. Okay, that use class and ID to help you to group a kind of selection. Maybe all your H1, to give all your H1 a particular color, you just write class of, under that H1 you put a class of it. Can be class red for all your H1s. But then you get to say just write dot red and then you put your color. Okay, and flowing. Now what about ID? How do you write ID? Just the way you write class, it's going to be ID, but remember ID is just unique, so it can appear only once in a place. For ID, just give a space, write ID. You click on it and it appears. And let's say the ID should be, or let's say container, okay? ID of container. Immediately it will appear as ID of container. This is one way you can write this. That is, because like I told you, always come out at the attribute level. But there's another way you can also write this. Let's create our own file. Let me use the above page. Let's say I want to write a class, and in that class, since I'll just write, or let's say I want the class to be, let's say div, or that div, I want the div to have a class, div dot class, to have a class. Boom, this is it. So you see, immediately I div the class, what happened? Everything just immediately appear, both the div and the class appear together. Okay, can also be maybe like an ID going to be a span. I just write span dot ID dot ID. Very simple. What you press enter and everything will appear. So this is the shorthand method of writing it. It makes your work simple. It makes it quicker. So it will be right after writing div, for example, like the first one that we did. After writing this div, after writing the div first, then you now start giving a space. Come to the div, take your mouse to the div level, put it there, and then give a space, and then start writing class. No, just div dot whatever you want. And even instead of writing the class itself, you can even do it this way. Let me just show you another method. Right. Let's say another method. Let's say I want to give this class as container. So just write div dot container, div dot cont or container. Okay, let's say I have a class of container. Press enter. Immediately you see it. You give me a name container, and you continue your browsing. So these are fastest ways you can achieve things. Okay, we call it shortcut. By the time we get to CSS, we make good use of this. But know very well that just like div and span, class and ID too, they are void. Well, it's not void element. What I mean they are like nothing. They are meaningless. Let me do meaningless. They are meaningless. Okay, unless when you now start using them, probably for your coloring, for styling, everything CSS, then it now makes a whole lot of sense. So don't note it. We have class and we have ID. ID is for pronoun, is like noun, while class like pronoun. Class can appear everywhere like a title, while ID is just the theme that will appear only once in your website. Thank you so much. See you in our next